Are you struggling with your frugal living these days? Do you wonder what you can do today, right now, to bring even more frugal into your life? Well, in this video, I'm going to share 7 tips to help you make your frugal life better today. Welcome, I'm Amy, and here at Frugal Over 50, I share tips and tools for frugal living. Bienvenidos a todas y a todos. En este video les voy a compartir 7 tips para mejorar tu vida frugal hoy. Number 1, declutter. This is an ongoing project, and the word ongoing is absolutely crucial in this regard. I have talked over the years about my project of decluttering a much larger house than I currently live in, and how I decluttered different areas of the house at different times. I live in a much smaller place now. I have much less stuff to organize, and yet I'm finding that I still need to think about decluttering as an ongoing project. For instance, I pulled out a couple of sweaters that I had but did not actually wear last winter. Those are going to go. It's summer now where I live. I'm taking them to the thrift store. Second of all, I have, over the last couple of very busy months, accumulated a small but somewhat shameful pile of papers and other things. A lot of it probably just needs to be shredded, and some of it probably needs to be thrown away, and some of it I could actually use if I would pull it out of the pile and figure out a use for it. So I just need to go through that pile, and then when I get done, bada bing, it's gonna be fantastic. Decluttering helps me to see what I actually have so that I don't actually go out and spend more for things that I think I need. Have you ever had that happen where you go buy something and you get home and you're like, wait, I bet it's in that pile over there or in the back of that drawer over there? And sometimes you have like 3 or 4 things like that. Have you ever had that happen? I bet that's gonna happen when I go through my pile today. Number 2, organize an area of your house that's not working for you. You don't have to organize everything today in your house. Remember, I'm talking about frugal tips that you can incorporate like today, like as soon as the video is going or even while it's playing. So I had some banker's boxes that I had used during a time when I was moving a whole lot, and I carried important papers in those banker's boxes. Well, they got really worn out because, you chuck a banker's box around and it's gonna disintegrate a bit, and they weren't adequate for the kind of storage that I needed right now. So I went out and purchased a simple plastic organizing file cabinet drawer thingy. I went back and did a little paper decluttering, and then I took the things that I was storing, important papers that I still need in this digital age, and I put them into the plastic filing drawer. And then I set up a little area that includes some additional kinds of storage that I was using banker's boxes just to chuck stuff in that I need occasionally and I don't want to get rid of. And so now I have this nice little area where I have a little shelf, and I have my printer, and I have some extra office supplies, things that I use regularly or semi-regularly, and now it's pleasant to look at. It's much easier to access than when it was in a bunch of disintegrating banker's boxes, and I know what I have, and I know where I have it, and it's very calming. And I even put a little bit of artwork up so that I could make it look a little prettier. I think if you have not tried this recently, make this a follow-up to your decluttering project today. Think about, what is that little thing that's kind of weighing on your mind? That one drawer, that one box? Just do one thing that organizes something that you need organized so that you can get a handle on something in your house. Number 3, clean according to your needs today. Again, we are not talking about the whole house. We're not doing a deep clean. But what's that one thing that you think, this would make my life better? For me, it's ever and always and forever and ever washing the dishes. Now, I also had an interesting comment from a viewer, one of the recent times that I talked about washing the dishes, where they described that they live with a very restrictive diet, and so they have to devote a lot of their energy and time and, frankly, money to selecting and purchasing and preparing special foods that keep them as healthy as possible. Once that's done, they don't have energy to then stand up and wash a whole bunch of dishes. And so their solution is to use tableware that is disposable. And so that keeps them frugal, it keeps them healthy, and it also keeps things clean in a way that works for their particular needs. Now, I offer this as an illustration because it is somewhat unique, maybe, but it might help spark some thoughts for you about what you could do in cleaning that would streamline your process of cleaning and that would make everything coming out of cleaning just that much little easier, so that you're not constantly thinking about cleaning, but instead you're like, how can this routine work for me and keep me frugal so I don't go out and spend extra money on things that just make me feel better or that I think are gonna help me and they just don't. Tell me what you're gonna clean today. I am gonna be, as always, washing the dishes. If you're getting value out of this video, would you give it a like and consider subscribing if you have not done so already? And if you want to get notified of new videos, click the bell. Let's get back to the tips. Number 4, review your expenses from the past month. Let me tell you a story. I actually got this idea because I sat down just yesterday and I did this. I reviewed my expenses from the last month in extreme detail, down to the penny. And I don't always go back 1 month and do that, but I found it super helpful because about a month ago, somebody that was in my social circle ended up in the hospital for a few days, and it was unexpected, and they came out just fine. Everything is just wonderful. But during that time, when they were in the hospital, we were coordinating who's going to go and visit when they came out, who's going to provide food, and who's going to come and visit at home. Those kinds of things that go around something that feels like an emergency, and even when it comes out, well, that's what you're focused on. And so it's just like, how many times did I pay for hospital parking? How much did that bottle of water cost in the hospital vending machine? You know, those kinds of things that are really outside the norm of my personal experience because I don't spend a lot of time taking care of people who go to the hospital. And then coming out of that, I realized I just kind of plowed back into my life without paying a whole lot of attention to what I was doing with my spending. And so taking time yesterday, it honestly took me about 2 hours to sit down with my budget, my good old You Need a Budget. You know I love You Need a Budget. And I went back with You Need a Budget open in one tab, with my bank account open in the other tab, and just making sure I understood what I had done. It's like looking at your own autobiography, honestly, because when you look at what you spent, you can see what you did. And that gave me not just a snapshot, but a history of my past month and explained to me some of the things that I was going through. So I was thinking, for instance, well, I have not been really focusing that much on paying attention to how much I spend on stuff. As soon as I went back that 1 month, I went, oh, right. That's why, because I was thinking more about the survival, quote unquote, not literally, but survival mindset. I wasn't thinking about planning. I was just thinking about what needs to happen right now. And so now, a month later, things have stabilized and I can start to think ahead. And that leads both me and you to tip number 5, which is to preview your next month's expenses. And what I did here is I sat down and I looked at what's coming for me that's regular, like how much do I want to allocate in my budget for food? How much for household items? How much for gas? Oh my gosh, gas, huh? Then this time of year, I tend to have some annual things come up, like the car registration, renter's insurance, those things that come up once a year. So I could plot in when those are due annually. I could also look carefully at where I am in my current plan for debt pay down, and I could look ahead at what I want to do and what I need to do in this next month to contribute towards debt pay down. And finally, I looked at what do I want to do and what do I feel I need to do in terms of adding to my savings. When I preview that whole month, then I don't have the tendency to think, I could buy that little thing. That little indulgence, yeah, it'll be fine. I've got money in my checking account. Aren't I lucky? And yes, I am indeed lucky. But that money probably needs to go to X, Y, or Z, and I know that because I previewed. 6, plan for a longer future with you in it. So here we're talking about savings, and this could involve saving while you're paying down debt. It could involve something like set it and forget it. Like, for instance, I have a pension that's coming to me in a few years, and I can just look at it every so often and see how much it's going to be when I start collecting it. That's very much automated. I can also plan, like, I'm going to get $20. I want to put all of it towards my travel budget. Those kinds of plans, like I'm planning for a future that I'm going to enjoy and that I'm going to be in. And there could be larger issues as well that I'm saving for, like healthcare needs. Some of that comes into play as well as we get a little bit older, or it may be for some of us a lifelong project. But think about a future that has you in it. And then number 7, what's your legacy? Once we're not here, what will we leave to the people we leave behind? And this could be a material legacy. You could be thinking, for instance, about looking at your will again or making one if you don't have one yet. You could be thinking about material wealth that you want to leave to your children or grandchildren. You could be thinking about possessions that you want to pass along. You may be thinking in that level of detail, but you may just be thinking about what is your legacy. And this is where living a frugal life right now, today, and each and every day helps our loved ones understand who we are and who they then can be. One of the best legacies, I truly believe, is just living a frugal life every day. And so if you just make some of these choices today to live frugally, you are going to be leaving a legacy of frugal living. Tell me down below in the comments, have you thought about what you want your legacy to be in the world? I would love to hear it. Our quote for the day comes from the wonderful poet Mary Oliver, who wrote this. Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? Wherever you are on your frugal living journey, take the next step, whatever that next step is for you, and know that you are not alone. And I am so proud of you. Live frugally, change your life, and together we will change the world. I can't wait to see you again soon. Nos vemos pronto. Bye!
This is a good a day as any to start the rebuilding of life. The roads that lay open are many.